How often should you work out? How often should you work out? It's a question that comes up an awful lot at Team Body Project. How often should I work out? Talking about oneself. How often? What is the optimum amount of time to exercise for? Well, like everything, it's an ambiguous question. There's no answer that's going to suit you specifically. So I'm going to try and build a little toolkit in your mind. Put a little toolkit in there as for you to make a decision as to how often you should work out with some kind of comprehension of... I think that what's important with these things is it's less how often you should work out, not even so much about the comprehension. It's more about expectations. What should you expect sometimes from how often you work out? There's pros and cons, and we'll try and cover what we can today. And I hope that there's going to be some relevant content in here that can really help you manage your expectations with what you're going to get with exercise, as well as make some choices, blocking out the noise of what other people are doing. I'm going to say that here because that's one of the most important things you can do, is not be disrupted by the noise of others. So you see someone who's working out 5 times a week, twice a day, and you will ask yourself the question, perfectly naturally. It's okay to ask this question. Should I be doing more? Should I be doing what they're doing? We all do that. As much as we could say we must not compare, that's a natural instinctive thing. So we need to override that natural instinct and find a better answer, because we know that we can't compare two people's lives, two people's experiences, two people's anything. It's impossible to compare, but it doesn't mean it's easy not to do it. But we need a nice, strong toolkit, strong philosophy in order to be able to do that. So that's what I'm going to try my best to give to you today. So the very first thing I'm going to say is that there is one thing. I've got some notes here, but I'm not so smart that I can do this without any notes. I need some notes, so I've got them here. So in case you're wondering what I'm looking at, it's my notes. And I've got a little order as well. What I'm about to say overrides absolutely everything else, and it has to. And that is, one workout once a week is infinitely better than no workouts. So that decision to honor and respect your body and do a workout, most people don't reach that conclusion. Most people don't do that thing. So you must not allow anything I say beyond this, anything beyond this reality of you are doing a workout once a week. You are saying my body is important enough to move and to do that deliberately and in a structured environment. If you're doing that, you've won, you're winning. Don't listen to what I'm going to say today and think, oh, I should be doing more, or I want to... That must not be overridden. That is the rule that rules them all. One workout is the infinite game changer. It's the choice, it's the decision, more than the benefits of the workout. And I'll talk about one workout's benefits in a second. But more than that, it's that philosophical approach to, I am going to find the time to respect my body. I am going to do this, that we must never lose. So to do none is so far below doing one, that we must never lose that. So whatever else is going on in your life, and if you're only doing one at the moment, I salute you, I applaud you, I'm amazed by you. Keep doing that. Don't ever stop that. I think that what is the term? That great is the enemy of good. There's a place in lives for greatness. There's place for you to find greatness in your life. There's things that you must keep on making continuous progress with, that you must aspire to be the best at, to manifest your best self. But you can't do that with everything. And it's very unlikely that exercise is the thing in your life that you are pursuing greatness with. So be good. Whatever you can do is good. It's okay. It doesn't mean it's the best way of doing it, but it means that it's what you can manage at this point in your life. Lots of circumstances will change that over time. One workout a week. Let's imagine you're just doing one for a second. And I'm sure most people doing Body Project might be doing more, but let's just imagine you're doing one. It's 52 workouts a year. It's 500 workouts a decade and thousands of workouts across a lifetime. So are we going to get the instant benefits, the visible benefits of one workout a week? Probably not. I'm going to ask you a question. How much difference do you think thousands of workouts are going to make across a lifetime? Your mobility, your heart health, your lung health, your general sense of well-being, we'll call it. Do you think thousands of workouts aren't going to make a difference? So is one workout a week important if we can do that consistently? You bet it is. You bet it's important, not just psychologically, as I said at the beginning. That's an important thing for your health, for your longevity, for your life. Every workout you do matters. Every one. There isn't a workout you do. It doesn't matter about the duration. It doesn't matter about the intensity or the exercise selections. Every workout you do is so important. They all matter because we can't get to thousands of workouts without one workout. It's a brick, it's all in all, it's just another brick in the wall. And we can take one brick out, can't we? We can take one workout out, it doesn't make any difference. We can take 50 workouts out. But ultimately, every single one of those workouts is a brick that's been laid, a foundation that's building this wall of magnificent health. Every workout's doing that. Every single one is contributing. And that's the beauty. We take one workout away, it makes no difference whatsoever. But paradoxically, every single one matters so much to your final outcome. What is the final outcome? I don't know what the final outcome is. I shouldn't do these live. I should pre-record them so I don't talk nonsense. But it's okay. You understand what I mean. They're all adding up. So this matters a lot. I think we can agree that when we look across a lifetime, even one workout a week is thousands of choices to move our body, creating this magnificent wall of health. Each brick laid. Every one. So let's always remember that. There's no such thing as an insignificant workout. There isn't such a thing. Your heart doesn't think any one workout is insignificant. Your lungs don't think that any one workout is insignificant. Your body, your biceps, your legs, your shoulders don't think that any one workout is insignificant. So you mustn't think that. So whatever I say after this, that's the rule that rules them all. For the final outcome. So then, what we're going to do now? Define results. So how often should you work out for results? Let's define results. What do results mean to you? So are the results you're looking for weight loss? Is that one of the results that you're going to be looking for? Is that something that you're looking to achieve? Are the results you're looking for better mobility, better health, feeling better? Are the results you're looking for very high level of tone, visible abdominal muscles? Like what? And what you have to remember at Body Project is we don't have any defined outcome that we expect of you. Just as much as anybody who's worked out with Body Project any period of time knows that my focus is not on aesthetic goals. Like everybody knows that. I've made that quite clear. I don't hide that. But that doesn't mean that I don't respect your lofty aesthetic goals. If it's the most important thing in your life, that I want you to get that. Like it's your life. If you want to get super toned abs, you can do that. If that's what you want, do that. I have no problems with that. It's not for me to say what you should be trying to achieve, but so we're going to define the results that we want. That's the first thing. So are we looking for general health? Are we looking to feel better? Are we looking for better mobility? Are we looking for longevity? Are we looking to improve our health metrics, things like our blood sugars and triglycerides and things like that? So what is the outcome that you're looking for? That's the first question that you need to ask yourself. And there's no right answer to that. If your ambition is to be the most healthy, or your ambition is to not lose any weight, but just achieve whatever it is, it doesn't matter. I've made that quite clear now. You can stop, Daniel. Remind yourself, stop once you've made the point. Then you have to ask yourself, is the juice worth the squeeze? I like that term. Is the juice worth the squeeze, right? Because when I've coached people, this is something when I've coached people personally that is a lot easier for me to get across. They say, okay, I want to lose 2 stone, 25 pounds in the next 5 months, and I want to get into this dress size or this belt buckle or whatever it is, any aesthetic goal, or I want to run a marathon in 3 hours or whatever it might be, okay? You've then got to look at the realities of what that goal might take and be honest with yourself. Is there evidence in your history and your life that you will probably adhere to that plan? So let's say I said you came to me with a very specific goal of this amount of weight loss and this amount of body fat and this amount, and we put together this 12-week plan, and it turned out that this 12-week plan was 6 workouts a week, an hour a day, high intensity, a diet that was very restrictive. You've got to look at that and you've got to say, is that worth it to me? There are multiple sacrifices that I'm going to have to make. There's going to be an awful lot of energy to find that willpower, because let's not make any mistake, you have a finite amount of willpower, a finite amount of things that you can commit to that require resilience in your life. And there will be some variables on that from person to person, but nobody can find the ultimate level of discipline and willpower across multiple areas and verticals of their life. So if you are choosing with your health to go to that extent, if that's your choice to do that, that's taking away from something else. Opportunity cost. It has a price that's not visible. So when we start going to that hour a day, high intensity, very strict on our diet, turning down every single treat and not going out for drinks with our friends and not eating the birthday cake, our child's birthday, I'm sure you could do that. I'm sure you could. If it was really important to you, you could. But the likelihood is you have a number of other things in your life that you have to use your reserves to commit to. That probably isn't the only thing that you're looking to accomplish in your life at this point in time. So it's this balance, isn't it? I am going to get to the answer of how many you need for results and my thoughts on that in a second. But I just want you to understand this very definitive idea that So the juice is worth the squeeze. I think that's kind of explained that pretty well. You have to be able to look and say, okay, yes, there is no doubt that more and more intensity. Now, we'll talk about quality in a second, but let's just imagine we're keeping the quality level as we up the quantity. Let's just imagine we're doing that for a second, which is hard to do, by the way. But even if we are, you've still got to answer that question. Is this the thing in my life that I want greatness with? Is this the thing in my life that is going to bring costs to other areas of my life? Am I comfortable with that? You can do that. The next thing then, of course, you have to ask yourself, staying with the juice, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is, do you have the juicer? Do you have the juicer? And what I mean by that, of course, is that you might think that the juice is worth the squeeze. You might think that it's worth all of that work, but you might not have the time. You might not. That's a reality we all have to face. Maybe you've got elderly parent, young children, busy job, community responsibilities. And then you can't add into that an hour a day of focus workout, meal preps, turning down all of these, like you might burn out. Like people do it, but it's hard, isn't it? We've got to be kind to ourselves. You've got to listen to your body and understand your own levels of resolve. I know myself quite well at this point in my life. The one benefit I think of, well, there's many benefits of age, but as you get older, you start to understand that, okay, I've now 5 times put myself in that place where I try and do it all. And each one of those times I've ended up in a pile on the floor, sucking my thumb, wishing that I hadn't. You know, it's kind of using a term that is strange, but you know what I mean by that. I've seen that happen to myself. So I've got to say, Daniel, you're not Superman. You're not even close to Superman. You're not even Clark Kent. So make a choice. Make a choice. What can you cope with? What's the evidence that what are the amount of things you can cope with? Don't give yourself overload. Don't put that onto yourself. Like, we want exercise to give more than it takes. And this is where I'm getting to a sensible point. Think about that. We want exercise to give more than it takes from us. If we want to be consistent with it over a lifetime, not get an 8-week transformation and then return to old habits. And when we're working out an intensity, when we're dreading the workouts, when the workload is becoming too much, when it's interfering in other areas of our lives, is exercise still giving us more than it's taking from us? That's an interesting question, isn't it? Is it still giving us more than it's taking? I think that for me, that's where I'm going to define it. Once we cross that line from exercise is giving less than it's taking, more than it's, yes, you know what I mean, I hope. I should learn to define things better, but instead I'll just kind of use the, you know what I mean. Always gets you out of a corner, doesn't it? That's when I think we're doing too much. Because it's not sustainable anymore. So, you know, and also, can your body tolerate it? Can your body tolerate that? So actually, let's now talk about the quality versus quantity thing, because actually that's quite important. Because if we're doing 30 minutes of quality exercise, we are thinking about the movements that we're doing. We're fully engaged in the movements. We're tensing our muscles in the right moments. We're relaxing in the right moments. Our breathing, yes, we're pushed out of our comfort bubble, but very slightly. We feel good. We do 30 good minutes. That, to me, is way better than 60 minutes of trying to burn as many calories as we can on our watch. I have no problems with counting the calories on our watches or using any other metric that we wish to. But it's never more important than the quality of the moves that we're doing and how engaged we are in the workout. If there's one regret I have from my youthful exercise, it is what I've come to label as junk miles. I put in way too many junk miles. Exercise where I was just there. I was using my body. I was putting strain on my joints. Specifically for me, I used to do a lot of coaching of boxers that were quite new to boxing, and I would spar with them I'd sometimes do 3 or 4 hours of sparring a day. Not hard sparring with experienced boxers, light sparring with people that I was coaching. And I wish that I wanted to get involved and help. I wish that I put other people in the ring to do that rather than do it myself, because I was not focusing on the exercise, but I was putting a lot of miles in for them. That's me. I wanted to coach them. I wanted to be there. But the impact of that on my joints, taking multiple very light hits to my ribs, intercostal injuries, back injuries, neck injuries. That's that, and it wasn't even purposeful. It was just running up miles that were just for the sake of it. And I'm proud of the coaching that I did, and I loved it. But it wasn't a good decision for my body. So, and sometimes I could be doing that for hours. And you'd think, oh, that's good exercise. It wasn't. I pay a price for that now. There's no doubt I pay a price for that now. And if I could change it back then to not do that and just do focused exercise, I would. But we can't. Look, I'm not someone who lives in the past at all. So I'm trying to use an example of a junk mile. So are you doing that workout purposefully? Are you doing that workout with intention? Thinking about how your body's moving, thinking about the muscles that are engaging, thinking about, okay, my heart rate's lifting, or are you just turning up? Well, I'd prefer 30 minutes to an hour if you're just going to be turning up for that hour. If we, again, and we can go back, if we want that really radical outcome, I don't know if that's the right term, we could do an hour if it's focused and intent, if we have the mental resolve. Remember, that's now taking more. It's subtle, isn't it? There's subtle things going on in life. It's not always obvious what's happening, but when we're doing that first 30 minutes, are we taking from that? Or is it a net benefit to us? Are we leaving that feeling engaged and excited? And then when we get to that second half hour, are we now tiring our body with junk miles? And are we now taking too much mental resolve? Makes sense? Is it too much mental resolve now? If you want to run up junk miles, go for a walk. Because they're not junk miles, because they don't take from your body the same way exercise does. A nice gentle stroll, a walk, that will burn some calories. That's much better than doing more and more and more and more exercise. So these are important topics. Because we're looking here now, it's a broad, because I wish I could just give you a simple answer, but I can't, can I? It's not a simple equation. We've got to take so many things into account. And that's where we've got to listen and be intelligent. We've got to listen to our body. We've got to engage in what's going on. Are we engaged in the workout, or are we just running it up for the sake of getting an extra 200 calories? That's crossing a line. So now I'm going to try and define, in an ideal world, what I would like to see people do if they are looking for management of weight, management of health, management of triglycerides and blood sugar levels, and good mobility and longevity and all of these different things. I like to see, and again, remembering point one, the rule that rules them all, one workout is infinitely better than no workouts. Never stop that. I like to see, if I want to see visible progress now. So we're seeing, when I say now, I mean within weeks and months. So visible progress. I like to see a predominance of days working out within a week. So I've said that. I like to see, if there's 7 days in a week, I think there is Monday, Tuesday, happy day, Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay, so whatever. I don't even know the days of the week, right? 7 days in a week. 4 is a predominance. 3 isn't. So if you're doing 4, you are honoring your body more than you're not. I like that. That for me is a really good starting point. And if you're doing 10, 20, 30, an hour, doesn't matter to me. That's the point I like to see. I think psychologically it's important. Don't forget the caveat. Don't forget the rule that rules them all, by the way. Don't listen to this and say I'm only doing 2. I can't. Don't worry about that. Remember what I said at the beginning. Everything's in the bank. Everything's a brick in the magnificent wall. But I do like that. Now we're doing it more than we're not. That's powerful. That's significant. More often are you saying to your body, yeah, come on, we're doing this, then you're not saying that to your body. That's the point I like to see. That's the moment I start to see, okay, now we see progress. This is my learned experience. Now I can see visible progress. Not over years, not over 6, 12 months. I can see it happening. Your fitness moving on fairly rapidly within this time frame. And I think if you are at that 30 minutes, you can pump that up to 6 days. No problems at all. If one of those days at a minimum is an active recovery day and you are not feeling like the exercise is taking more away, you can even pump that into 7. You could do that. I don't. Alex does. I don't. I have 1 or 2 rest days. I need them. So there's no right answer, is there? I need them. My body rejects high workload now. I think that part of that is that, I'm in that middle generation. When I say the middle generation, I mean young children, busy work life, parents, although our parents are kind of, but there is some responsibilities there with parents that are happening now. Lots of other responsibilities. I don't think it's a simply physical thing. I think that at this point in my life, when I step over that 30 minutes, 5 or 6 days a week, I now cross the line. Mental reserves, physical reserves, it no longer works for me at that point. So that isn't an answer that I arrived at overnight, and it wasn't the answer 10 years ago. The answer 10 years ago was very different. But 10 years ago, I didn't have the same levels of responsibilities that I do now. So this is really important. We gotta find that space. What is it? What is it? And I can answer for myself because I can't answer for you, but for me, it is mobility. I don't want to be in pain. I want to feel good. I want to feel, if I'm completely honest, although aesthetics isn't a priority to me at all, it is somewhat important to me that I feel that I'm looking relatively fit on the videos. I think that I would struggle if I didn't feel that I was at least representing something good about Body Project, although I know that I'm not at the pinnacle of fitness. There has to be some element of that that's taken into account for me. I'm just giving an example of where I am. It's very important to me to be active when I'm 90. And it's very important to me to look after my heart and my lungs. And it's very important for me to get the mental benefits of exercise. I find if I let it slip below 6, I don't do so well. Once it goes down to 4, I find that my mental state suffers. So I've had to learn where I am, and that could change. It's a moving target. It's not something that we can define today and that's it forever. We've always got to listen, we've always got to tune in, but wow, yeah, that sounds like work, but aren't the benefits worth it? Wow, they really are. So then we've got turbos. I'm going to talk about turbos because we do have turbos on the website. The turbos are optional. The turbos are for the people who have asked themselves. And again, we could look at this 2 different ways. One is the people that have 4 days, but on the 4 days, they have an hour, right? So they want to get that little bit more out of their exercise, but they haven't got as much time. They haven't got as much time on different days, shall we say. So they've got more time on less days. That makes sense. Not everybody can find 30 minutes every day. For some people, it's easier to find an hour 4 days. So I don't want to compare them too much. My preference is half an hour, 6 days, 40 minutes. Sometimes I'll do a little turbo, might push in, a kind of little boxing express or something like that. But I'm not going to say which one is better because it's not, because ultimately, have you got the juicer, right? If you've got an hour, 4 days, and you want relatively rapid progress that's visible, and always remembering that you do have to take diet into consideration. You don't have to be extreme, but it does have to be a thought. If there's any aesthetic in there at all, if any of it is aesthetic, that has to be taken into account. It has to be thought through. Then that's good. That's what the turbos are for. The turbos are also for the people that have answered that question definitively. I want really toned muscles. I want really quick results. I want this, this, and this, and the juice is worth the squeeze, and I've got the juicer. Then we can do that every day. And what you must not do, because there are going to be people that you see on the Body Project forums and in life, and you're going to see people that have the space in their life for this. They have the space in their life. They have prioritized this, and they care about this outcome a lot. And you're going to see those people making the decision to do 1 workout a day with a turbo. That's it. That's going to happen. I don't do that, but we are going to see people doing that. And it's easy then, isn't it, to feel frustrated. I understand. I'm empathizing here because sometimes I look and think, wow, they do more of our workouts than I do. But it's fine because they have answered the questions for them. And sometimes there'll be some of those people that haven't thought that through properly, and maybe they'll fall off and they'll come back with a different approach. That happens too. But that's their journey. Maybe they'll get incredible results over 8 weeks, find it's not sustainable. This will happen as well. But hopefully in that period of working with Body Project, they've discovered enough about themselves and their exercise to bring the dial back and move into a more sustainable plan. And for others, it will just be the sustainable for life. Alex is that. Alex is consistent and she trains hard and she trains often and she deserves the benefits of that. When Alex is training, I'm often reading a book. So we've made different choices there in life. You know, it's kind of the reason that she is so great at exercise is that she's very passionate about, she loves it. She loves exercise. I love what exercise represents and the outcomes that we get, but I'm not so in love with the exercise itself. If you said to me, do a workout or read a book, I'm going to read a book. But that's not to say I don't love what exercise is. Of course I do. I believe in it more than anything. I believe that exercise is one of the most important things we can do in our lives. But I make my choices accordingly to what I can cope with, what I enjoy. Once I go over that 30, 40 minutes, I'm losing a little bit of my passion. So that's kind of where we are with that. You've got to listen to your body. Resistance is really important for recovery. So if you're doing the Warrior program, so if you're doing chest one day, it's really important that we don't do chest the next day. That's really important. So when we have targeted muscle group workouts, rest becomes more specific. So you'll notice in the Warrior Plan, Pure Resistance, if we do chest one day, likelihood is we'll be doing legs or maybe back the next day. So again, this is another definition. So a lot of traditional weight training plans will have a far more periodized approach, and we do set that up accordingly on the site. When you do a little bit of chest, a little bit of shoulders, a little bit of back, a little bit of legs, it becomes less important because your total load isn't as much. If any muscle group is aching to the point of discomfort, real discomfort. So I did the other day this new resistance workout, which sadly we weren't able to film this weekend, but my legs were so achy the next couple of days that I would have been crazy to choose even a cardio workout. So I'd really pushed it with heavier weights. This was me running through it before we filmed it, which we often do. We normally do. And so I will choose upper body workouts. So I actually made some adaptations as to what I was going to do based on some unexpectedly heavy DOMS soreness in my legs. So we've always got to listen to our body. We can't overcome that. So in conclusion, actually there's one more thing I want to say. There's one more thing I want to say here. And that is, and I think I've said it already, I've suggested it at least, consistency is the most important thing here. Consistency. I really want you to, when you're asking yourself what is it that you're going to do, I want you to think about what's realistic for you, not next week, but in a few years. Look at it that way. Although it will change, think about that. Really ask yourself. Because 6 days a week, say, for 2 months and 10 months off. Look at it this way. 6 days a week for 2 months. 10 months off. So you get these incredible results over 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever it is. And then you have the rest of the year off. Or 3 workouts a week for life. Because 3's under the 4, remember. Which one's better? Which one do you think's better? So always look at it like that. Like, what can I cope with? What will I enjoy? What am I going to look forward to for the longest duration? Not what's going to get my body to change the quickest. And you can mix it as well. So there's nothing to say that you can't decide, I am going to prioritize my body as the one thing. I'm going to spend my reserves. I'm going to spend my energy. I'm going to put my heart and soul into this objective for 6 months, with the understanding that it's not sustainable, with the understanding that there could be roadblocks. And my long-term intention is 4 days a week of 30-minute workouts. So that's possible too. There's no fixed system. You've got, and it will change. Maybe you're on holiday for a couple of weeks. Fine. Do more. Plan that. Think about that. Whatever it is that you decide to do, though, what I'll ask you is make it realistic and then find that discipline to do that. That's the one thing that's really beneficial, is that when you can prove your adherence to yourself. So I'd prefer you set 2 workouts that got done and you decided to do 3 than set 5 and do 4. Not because, all right, one you've done 4, one you've done 3. And some people might say, okay, well, you shot for the stars and you reached the moon and you got the 4. When you set the 5, there you set the 2 and you got the 3. I can understand that point. I would argue that this person is going to continue more and maybe end up at 5 or 6 because they've proved themselves a winner. They've proved their adherence. This person might be saying, oh, but I let myself down this week. That doesn't really, for me, that doesn't have the same legs. It doesn't have the same duration. It's not as likely to stay the course because we're putting that negativity within. And we all can do it. We're all capable of that. So we need to build ourselves up and build our strength up and our self-belief up as much as we can. Keep winning. Keep being magnificent. Every time you work out, all in all, it's just another brick in the wall. Any questions? Let's crack on with a couple of questions and then I will go. So I wish that I could turn up here and say do 5 a week. 30 minutes. I can't do that. It's not the way, because it's not true for you. I'm trying to arm you with some thoughts that enable you to make that decision. That's unfortunately, it's a frustrating thing, isn't it? You'd like me just to tell you, do 5, but I won't. I won't do it. It's not the right thing to do. So have we got any questions? Kim loves TBP so much. Wonderful, thanks. Caroline's happy with the singing. She's in a magnificent minority there. Should I do Warrior 4 times in a row? If you're changing the body parts, I was going to say body part with a, that wouldn't have been good, would it? Body parts, then yes, you could do 4 days in a row, as long as you're not doing chest twice in a row or legs twice in a row. Swinell, thank you. Thank you for working out with us. Kira, I still get DOMs. If I put the right workout in there, absolutely I do. I'd prefer not to, actually. I don't feel the need to go to that point. But this particular workout, it was tough. So, yeah. Do you watch your videos? I edit them. I edit the videos. Thanks for working out with Evangeline. Thanks for working out with us, Jen. Any questions? Would you ever put together a recovery program? Yes, I think that in many ways the Compassion Plan is a recovery program. I think in every way it's a recovery program, in fact. I think that you could do the standing Pilates workouts as a very effective recovery program. I think the power flows are a wonderful set of exercises for a recovery program. Audrey, thank you for working out with us. Is there a maximum number of rest days to take in a row? No, it's a very difficult question to answer that. I mean, the more rest days that you like I said, that predominance, I think, answers that. I do like to see a predominance of days when we are saying to our body, boom, let's do this, let's move, let's work. I prefer that, but I don't want you to get too, remember the one rule that rules them all. So there is no maximum. Are you ever in a bad mood? Apparently I was in Mishmash 4. How often do you need to do resistance training? Again, it's a question that's so hard to answer. It depends on your goal. If you want to enter Mr. or Mrs. Olympia, which is Arnold Schwarzenegger territory now, you're going to have to do resistance training every day. All exercise is resistance training to some extent. We're putting our muscles under tension. So, but I like to see at least 2 or 3 days of resistance training, but it's not essential. What do you think about doing a few programs at the same time? I'm fine with that. Absolutely. What's the best mix of cardio and resistance? So again, it depends on your goal and your preferences. Do what works for you. I would ideally like to see, somewhere between 3 to 4 cardio and somewhere between 2 to 3 resistance, maybe 3 to 4 resistance and 2 to 3 cardio. That balance really works in my mind, but there is no absolute. There's no absolute on that. It's all based on your requirements. What's my opinion on people tweaking workouts into seated? Love that. If you could do if you are not currently able to do the workout standing and you can tweak them into seated, I love that. I think it's a great idea. Not only because of the physical benefits, but the psychological benefits of sticking to it are tremendous. Let's have a look. We've got a couple more here. Let's see if I can read them. Someone's getting their wisdom teeth out. I don't know what you should do if you get your wisdom teeth out, Liz. I hope that goes well for you. I wish that I had a vast dental knowledge. I don't. I don't like going to the dentist. I love the dentist. Do I love the dentist? No, well, I love what they do. They do good work, but I'm not a fan. I just, there's something really... And they're talking away to you, having a nice chat. Some of them have got the TV on the screen, haven't they? Yeah. And they're sort of telling you loads of stuff, and you I don't know. It's one of my least favourite things. I really, really don't enjoy it. It's just whilst there's these sharp objects being put around. I'm sorry, Liz. Look forward. I'm sure it's going to go well. It's live. I put my foot in it. I'm sorry. I don't know what you should do after that. I've no idea. Ask the dentist, and then a seated workout might be good. Is that answered your question, Liz? I haven't had my wisdom teeth out. I don't know what's entailed. I need to stop. I just need to stop generally. Just that's it. Finding football drills a bit hard. What can I do instead? So I would do a side-to-side step, right? Kind of like, so we got this. So sit nice and low instead of the football drills. That's a nice one to go for, I'd say. Lynn loves burners. What's your favourite food? I don't know if that's going to be relevant to anybody, although saying that, there's a lot that I say that isn't relevant to anybody. So I don't know, that's why I'm not going to answer it. What's my favourite food? I don't really have one. I like peanut butter. There we go. What would be your last meal's the question, isn't it? Peanut butter on toast, please. Yeah, that's a good one. Exciting. So Helen's been doing that, sitting down. Liz, yeah, so you're not looking forward to it either. Any possibility of a flexibility program? Lots of people afraid of the dentist. Liz is, thankfully, Liz is going to be having a general anaesthetic. I was worried you were going to be having a local. I'm really pleased to hear that. It sounds better. Thanks for working out with us, Sam. Recommendations on how to progress to mat push-ups. I mean, I would recommend, if push-ups are too much, just do chest press, build the chest up, chest flies, wall press up, tricep extensions, all of it, core work. It's all going to combine, and eventually one day you'll go, "Ooh, I can do a press up. Wow, I rock." It will happen, I promise. There's lots of comments on the dentist, isn't it funny? Most comments now on the dentist. That's how it goes. Amy wants to ban burpees. Good call. You're welcome, Liz. Liz is now thanking me for my advice dental advice. Susan has asked, should she add in weights if she's been doing the same videos without weights for a long period? Absolutely, you should. Sophie, a lot of members have their kids do workouts with them. Have you ever thought about doing workouts specific for kids? No, I don't. I talk the same to adults as kids. I don't know what I'd do differently. Dress up as Spider-Man. I don't know. Yeah, do the workouts with the kids. I would not, if someone said do a class for these 4-year-olds and do a class for these 40-year-olds, I'd do exactly the same class and talk in exactly the same. Now, I'm not sure if that's complimentary to the 40-year-olds. I'm not going to say the rest of that. But that's how I'd do it. I wouldn't do it any differently. I'd talk to them the same as... So I don't know what I'd do, really. Like, we get asked this a lot. What would be the difference? Like, the rest is happy clappy time? I don't know. It's not the way I do things. I don't know. I really respect people who specialise in working with children. I really respect that. It's tremendous when I take our children to do classes, and they're fabulous. But I have not got that skill set. So I'd just be exactly the same. There would be no difference at all. There just wouldn't be. So I just, tell them this is a workout that Daniel has put together for 4-year-olds, and you'll see. That's pretty much my level anyway. That's where I'm at. It's probably why they take part. Thanks, Mary. Let's have a look here. So, Caroline's never had any wisdom teeth out. There we go. See if I've got any other questions. Any more plans for 20-second intervals? Yeah, the thing with the 20 seconds, I do like the 20 seconds, but I always feel like you can't settle into it. It just feels a bit manic. I like them, we'll do more, but it just feels like there's not that chance to settle into the move, to really get your flow and tune in. That's my feeling over. This is not to say I don't like 20 seconds, but that's why we don't have as much of it. And why we do actually choose 45 seconds a lot, it's not because it's harder necessarily, it's because you have a better chance to settle in, find your place, tune into the muscles, get your rhythm, get into that zone. That's why I like the 45s. A lot of people don't know that. It's not just because, I want to push you for longer. It's actually because it gives us more time to build a relationship with the movement. Rochelle's loving the straight punches at the end. You're welcome, Sabine. No problems, Liz. Can too much cardio hinder weight loss? Oh, that's such a difficult question. It's unlikely. It's unlikely. I mean, it's possible if we push our bodies and our body now rejects, like I said, we've overloaded it. There's not many people doing that, quite honestly. You will see that there's Olympic athletes that are majorly overtraining. You'll see, but it's very unlikely in general population, people doing 30-minute workouts, that they're doing too much exercise. I think we need to put that into perspective. It's possible the chances of the average, and when I say average, you know what I mean. I'm not saying that we're average compared to an Olympic athlete. I just mean the median. So what most people are doing in their lives, who have jobs and families and friends and different things, and it's unlikely that you're doing too much. But it's not impossible. It is unlikely. So let's have a look here. Will there be more seated workouts? There will be. There will be, definitely. 100%. I want to sweat like you. Why don't I sweat as much? You want to sweat like me? What's the girl, I want to make you sweat. Sweat till you can't sweat no more. That's probably not suitable for the audience, is it? I've just realised that probably isn't talking about exercise. I shouldn't do the lives. I've got to start pre-recording these. Why would you want to sweat like me anyway? Oh, no, that's the question. It wasn't my ridiculous answer, it was the question. Let's have a look here. Angie said good answer. I'm not sure what the good answer was, Angie, but it was to something. Let's have a look here. What are your thoughts on doing workouts barefoot? I haven't really got any thoughts on that. That would be, I don't know. I mean, if the barefoot thing works for you, do it. I mean, speak to what is a foot specialist? The I'm going to get this wrong. The foot specialist. I should really know that. I really, really should know that. Let's ignore that. But let's go with foot specialist. I've seen one myself many times and I've recommended people to the foot specialist. But yeah, so I don't have any thoughts. Some people thrive on barefoot. We've got I actually quite like the shoes that have very sort of what they call Vibrams. So they're kind of it's called barefoot trainers. I've actually switched back, you'll probably notice, to cushioned trainers, but then that's been my experience. I did very well with them for a number of years, but then I started finding that my knees did better with the cushioned trainers. So listen to your body on that one. Angie's loving ski sits. Thanks for working out with us, Kylie. Sam is a teacher, and absolutely, Sam is just like I said, it's a huge skill to work with young people that I don't have. Like, it might work a little bit for a workout, but having seen tremendous teachers, tremendous people running classes and different things with my children, they have a special energy that connects so well with younger populations and across time as well, not just for 30 minutes. So I'm not going to step in and pretend that I can do that. I can't. Thank you for all the teachers out there. I've said this before, it's the most important job in the world. You're shaping the mind of the next generation. It's a huge responsibility, and I just applaud you because, wow. Because, you know, what would the world be if we didn't have tremendous teachers for our young children's minds? What would it be? It would be a lot of people like me. No, it's genuinely, I think it is the most important job in the world to be a teacher. I don't think there could be anything more important than that. This is the future of humanity is in the hands of these wonderful people. So yeah, let's have a look here. Hilarious and informative. It's probably one, but not both. So Stacey's modifying the workouts for her kindergarten students, and I love that. Recently finished totals, going back to stick to 30 minutes, it's enough for Kira. Yeah, I'm with you. Any plans for more power flow? That's a hard thing to put together, but yes, I'd love to do more. But maybe something different, right? Something that's of the same nature but different, the same but different. So Amy's working out 7 days a week, but he's finding the food the hard part to control. Any advice to portion control? Again, for me, I've spoken about this a lot. It has to be individualized, but it does, for me, come down to celebrating and seeing each moment as definitively important. Each decision you make matters. And the only decision you make is now. And therefore, when you are confronted with a food choice, the same as when you're confronted with a workout, bring yourself into the moment. Do not say that I'll do it tomorrow. Like, lose that. Tomorrow never comes. When it comes to making a good choice with your food, now is your opportunity. Don't beat yourself up if you don't make a good choice. If you don't make a choice that's congruent with what you're looking to achieve. I think that would be the right term. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But just so there's no point in being hard on yourself. But at the same time, this is the moment. This is the opportunity. This lunch, this breakfast, this dinner, this snack. This is the chance to seize upon now. And I think it's easier to do that if you have made a clear structure for yourself in advance. So if you say, okay, Friday evening, I have 2 glasses of wine and a pizza. And on Saturday morning, I have a croissant and a hot chocolate. Right? This is not what I do, by the way. That wouldn't be good if I explained that. But so you've defined the moments in the week that you are going to be making the decisions that are based on your love of food. So have them set out in advance and like stick to your own plan. So if you love food, like so many of us, have more of them moments. Have more moments that you can look forward to. But there's two things going on. One is your love of food. Let's not underestimate that. If you are someone who's passionate about food and taste and texture and all these different things, honor and respect that. That's part of you. That's okay. Do you want to forego that forever? No. Let's make some decisions as to when we're going to do that. And let's fully enjoy them without any guilt. Let's go right into it. Let's not feel guilty. Let's fully enjoy the pizza or fully enjoy the whatever it is, the tiramisu. I don't know. Whatever it is that you're going to enjoy, fully enjoy it. That's part of life. Not everybody loves food. Some people do. Everybody loves different things, but I love food. If you love food, you love wine, you love whatever it is. You know, you engage and enjoy that. But at the same time, is that everything? Do you also want to nourish your body? And is that choice fully nourishing you the way that you would want to? Is it taking you to the outcomes you want for your physical health? So let's put that in there as well. And let's make sure we stick to that. That's the way I see we can get success. So let's have a quick, I reckon we're pretty much there. Have you tried Saratoga peanut butter? I haven't, no. I haven't, but I'm sure it's good. So Marie Eve, thank you for working out with Marie. Podiatrist. We've got like 3,000 people saying podiatrist, and so they should. They really should. Anyway, that's going to do. Look, I could go on all day here, but I've actually got, it's now an hour. Can you believe that's an hour? I wonder how many people actually watched the whole hour. There's at least 2 or 3 minutes of useful information in that hour. So hopefully you found it. Anyway, look, stay magnificent. Keep working out. Keep doing that magnificence for yourself. Remember, every decision that you make when you eat an apple, and even when you eat the pizza, like when you are making a decision and you're sticking to your plan for your goals, for your body, you're winning. Make yourself a winner. Keep making the good decisions in balance, in your balance. When someone says, oh, this is what balance is, they don't understand balance. When someone defines balance, they don't understand what balance is. It's not that easy to define because your life is broad and holistic and full of things. It's not just about your health. It's not just about your food. It's not just about your career or your family or your spirituality or your community. It's all of these things and way more than that. I think, as long as we're putting exercise in, throwing it in the mixer, it's in there. We put it in that wonderful concoction of life. Exercise in, healthy eating in. Take a bit of that out, put a bit of that in. Right, that's it. That's what we got to do. That's what it's about. That, exactly that. That's what it is. If anyone asks you, what's it about, give them a bit of that, and a bit of that. Just, they'll know what you mean. Everyone will get that. They'll know exactly what you mean because it's crystal clear. Anyway, look, stay strong, stay magnificent, keep doing that, whatever that might be, and we'll speak next week.